my name is Colin. Today I'm coming at you with another video. This time to do a movie review for Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw it about a week ago. Loved it. I'm just going to come out of the gate and say I adored this film. One of my favorite films of the year, right up there with Us and Avengers Endgame. It's still quite between Us and Endgame for who takes the cake for best of the year. I'll definitely decide more towards the end of the year, but such a good film. It just took me a while to get this video out because, I had my shift and summer shit, stuff happens, but I'm glad I'm finally coming out with you here because, guys, I am a huge, huge Quentin Tarantino fan. I mean, this man he crafts what I love about film. He's so ambitious in his style, and I love how he writes dialogue. The performances are always so good in his films, his best films for me are definitely Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained. Those are two of my favorite films of all time. He's just so good. He's probably my favorite director, or at least the one, because you can tell he always stays true to his style. Now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was very excited for it. I heard that they were going to do something with the Mansons, and you're going to have DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in it. I love DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorite actors working today. Again, like I mentioned, Django, The Departed, Inception, Catch Me If You Can, Wolf of Wall Street, all great films. He's great in them. Brad Pitt, too. Seven, Fight Club, Moneyball, that guy. Inglourious Basterds, another Quentin Tarantino film. He's just such a great actor. And I couldn't wait to see both of them on screen. And their performances in this film, two of the best performances I've seen all year. I can't tell you who I thought was better. I think Leonardo DiCaprio should be nominated for Best Actor, because Leonardo DiCaprio, you can tell he's an actor where he's at the point in his life, the last decade, he takes a lot of time for his roles. The last role he did before this was The Revenant, which was a full 4 years ago. So that's kind of a long time. So he's really prepping for this movie, and you can really see the passion he's putting it into in this film. And Brad Pitt is so good, very funny, charismatic. The dialogue Quentin sets up for them, it just works out great. Margot Robbie was also really great. I loved her performance as Sharon Tate. And the Manson stuff, it wasn't in too much of the film, but it was. The last 30 minutes of this film were crazy. I loved every second of it, but it was crazy. Quentin just, this is the thing with Quentin Tarantino. He doesn't give a fucking shit about historical accuracies or whatever. And really, I don't. Because for me, I think that accuracies to even historical events or even the comics for Marvel and DC, people always complain oh, it's not like how it is in the comics, it's not like how it really happened, and Boys Don't Cry, Bohemian Rhapsody. But I think there are films like this where the historical inaccuracies kind of had to earn. Definitely Boys Don't Cry. Bohemian Rhapsody, not so much, even though I still love that film, but Inglourious Basterds, Quentin Tarantino, he kills Hitler. He gives you what you want. And he does that because it's his flick. And he stays true to his vision. He doesn't care what happened. Pearl Harbor, that's a film that takes freaking historical accuracies and just shits on them. Doesn't stay true to his vision at all. It's just shit in every way. But, nah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can tell the differences he makes. He does it for a reason, and I loved it. Oh my god. Charlie Manson, he was not really only in one scene in the film. It was a good scene, you didn't really get to see much of him. Kurt Russell, also great in the film. Al Pacino was in one scene. Great. This cast is just stellar. Again, like I mentioned, Margot Robbie. You didn't see too much of her in the beginning, but then, you got into kind of the acting portrayal of her, where she's, going to this theater, and she's watching her own movie. And it just felt really personal and real, and it's kind of hard for me to get behind a Tarantino flick that's not about ninjas or a western or a war movie or crime. Just about two guys living in Hollywood that happen to have these Manson murders happen around the same year. And yeah, this film is so good. The acting's incredible. The soundtrack is great. The editing, great. Great humor. Just great. I freaking adored this film. Loved it to death. On a scale of 0 to 4 stars, I will gladly give Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 4 out of 4 stars. Love this movie. Man, I could just go on all day. I don't want to spoil anything, though. What Quentin's my favorite director. Where would I say this lands in the ranking? I'd say it's definitely better than Jackie Brown and Death Proof. I still really like those movies. They're just not. They're kind of subpar to the others, so it's definitely better than those. But I wouldn't say this film is perfect or one of my favorite movies of all time, like Django or Pulp Fiction. So somewhere in the middle. It's one of his best films. I wouldn't say very best, but yeah, it's a 4 to 4 star masterpiece. Go see it. It is one of the best films of 2019. Definitely gonna make my top 10 list at the end of the year. And yeah, so if you guys saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Please make sure to share this video and subscribe for more weekly movie reviews. Thank you all for watching, and I will hasta la vista.